Thank you very much. It's great to be here. And over the last 20 years or so, I've spent a lot of time looking at organizations and leaders that do the wrong thing, people that make mistakes, leaders that maybe go in the wrong direction. And I wrote this book, Why Smart Executives Fail, and a bunch of other books like that. Work with a bunch of companies on those ideas. And there's really two themes that kind of jump out of all that work. Number one, of course, is it's always about people. It's always about individual leaders that decide to change or not to change. And then the second thing is really about learning. And it's really remarkable how often I found it the case that very successful people found it very difficult to actually adapt and change to new circumstances. And learning requires you not just to do new things, but to unlearn some of the old things. And so I thought I would share 3 lessons that come out of that work that kind of build on those 2 themes about leadership and people on the one hand, and learning on the other hand. Here's something that will soon become an artifact for many of us. And the reason is, of course, that we have this gadget, right? Industry after industry has been transformed. It's not just technology, it's certainly your own industry in retail and fashion. And we heard a lot about the internet, we heard a lot about the digital revolution, and that's part and parcel of what everyone in this room is dealing with. But, it goes wider than that as well, because, how did we used to watch television? These little TV screens, black and white, but today we have a whole different story. We've got, Netflix and Amazon Prime and Apple TV and Roku and you name it. It's not our father's Oldsmobile. It's not our father's TV anymore. It's actually not even a TV. It's an iPad or it's a laptop. The entire generation of millennials, including my daughter, do not use television hardly at all. They're collecting and processing information and data through laptops and iPads, and that's a big transformation. That's a gigantic transformation. It goes further. How'd you get here today? One of these guys, perhaps, if you weren't within walking distance or staying in the hotel. But even the good old taxi cab industry has been transformed because we have something called Uber. Any Uber fans out there? Oh my God, that's a lot. And you just kind of tap on your iPhone or your Galaxy or whatever you have, and it tells you, look, we're coming, and this is how long it's going to take, and it's a nice kind of cool car that comes, and you know who and you've prepaid for it already. It's very smooth and it's easy, and the reaction from people out there is, wow, this is just the future of city travel. I mean, industry after industry is being transformed. And the thing that you see in common across so many of these companies is the incumbents, the established companies, are the ones that are aware, are watching, but are watching it go by. There's a lot of other examples. Best Buy, what happened to Circuit City not that long ago, and Best Buy now is still struggling. We heard a lot about JCPenney and the incredible turnaround challenge that Mr. Altman is working on right now. Blockbuster is old news to be sure, and Kodak and others. I guess the point is, it really is happening. This transformation is really happening in industry after industry, which brings me to lesson number 1, which is, well, yeah, it could happen to you. It could happen to anyone. And the reason why I find people going to hear me talk about these stories, and you know a lot of these stories yourself, from the Kodaks to the Best Buys and the others. But so many people say that doesn't apply to me, and you know why? Because we're different. And okay, you might be different, but I've got actually we have business history and lots of books and other work that I've done and others have done as well that indicate being different is no defense. In fact, I'd hate to say my strategy for dealing with transformation going on around me is I'm different. That is a losing formula.